Welcome to Cake Burger. I'm Steve.
And I'm Mike. I
And
just picked
here we
him
got our brief hiatus, 2 week hiatus, because we're been under, well, Mike's been keeping busy with the gaming videos, but I've been cowering in my home. Like, as you see,
For what I do, there's no need for us to be at work. I wish I was cowering in my man cave here, missing Steve, missing your warm embrace, Steve.
we couldn't even, you know what, we couldn't do that right now anyway because we have to 6 feet apart. I don't know
Yeah,
if your couch even 6 feet, or
no, definitely not.
either
Uh,
sit on the arms or something like gargoyles.
yeah, we'll be like, "Man, here, you fall into my Legos because your balance is awful, and I fall into my video games over here." So
I do honestly have a horrible balance too. Like you can knock me over very easily.
fall into my Legos. You're rebuilding them all, Mister.
You've been keeping busy. What have you been doing the whole time?
Well, aside from going to work and having anxiety attacks galore, I'm not going to mention where I work, but um, no, I've just been playing. I got back into Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild for the Switch. I beat it on the Wii U. And with this run, I've been trying to find a lot of the glitches. I maxed out my hearts while doing all those annoying shrines. But yeah, just staying busy. I actually been rereading the Amazing Spider-Man JMS run. That was
Oh,
actually
there you go.
that was a really good run. Except for that whole Gwen Stacy, Norman Osborn, Goblin,
The
that's
sentence passed. Yeah,
yeah, from reality. But
I find once John Romita Jr. left the title, things kind of went downhill a little bit.
that was John Romita that was his best artwork for Spider-Man, in my opinion.
Oh yeah,
I think he was on top of his game then, and he kind of started doing that during the later part of the Mackie run, where he started to really get Spider-Man down pat.
yeah.
He always kind of drew him bulky. His father did too. His father kind of drew him kind of bulky too.
Yeah, he made a little more beefcake rather than Steve Ditko.
Yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, I just been staying busy as much as I can, trying to produce some videos for Friday night game night. And other than that, just going to work, anxiety attacks, really just leaving just to go food shopping. That's it. And what have you been doing with your sexy self?
well, I mean, I don't talk a lot about what I do outside of the podcast. But I work in healthcare, and so basically, like as we all know, things are kind of going crazy right now. And so I meant to pump out some videos during my downtime, like everybody else. But I've kind of like been working. My hours went from a certain amount of hours to like almost double the hours, and it's just been insanity. And yeah, so I mean, I don't know.
I come home angry every day that I have to be at work.
So yeah, you're definitely seeing a little bit of the worst of humanity. Not so much at work, but when I'm out of work and trying to get like my normal basic necessities, like like going food shopping and like has been like a complete nightmare. I have to like plan my week, like the precise time to like I'm like the Spartans, like hold against it, and then it's like time to go grocery shopping because like they're only allowing 100 people in there, and some places only 75 people, which is
Yeah,
good.
we went to the market basket, and we literally just shopped for a month.
Oh, it's a nightmare.
Going
But
off that.
these people, the show, like it's been almost a month now, still no toilet paper. I don't understand like the whole like I mean like when you what do you need that much toilet paper for? I mean like clearly everybody must have got their share of toilet paper by now, so you're still buying more. It's
Yeah, and
like
I guess also has nothing really to do. It's also to do with the hoarding that all these bozos are doing. But it's also, I guess, it's a supply chain. I guess a bunch of this stuff, from what I heard, is coming from China. So
uh, how much
yeah,
toilet paper do you need? Like do you have a pallet? If you need a pallet of toilet paper, then don't worry about Corona. Then like
yeah.
other things you need to worry about, like
Well, your fucking full groups, well, they are eating there.
oh my God! Like this is so many crazy things. Like the masks they're supposed to be wearing out in public. You can't get the mask. I mean, I like I said, I work in healthcare, so I get the mask. But like there's hospitals who don't have them because normal people need them to get like Celeste pizzas and like like chicken nuggets at the store. So that's what they're using all the masks for rather than staying home.
Mm.
And it's just I don't know. It's definitely a brave new world for sure.
All I gotta say, for what I do, I shouldn't really say what I'm doing. It's kind of somewhat top secret, I should say. But there's when the
That was
government
a
has
clue right there.
more than
It's
enough
top secret.
part, huh?
That's like a clue right there. It's top secret what I'm doing.
Yeah, and they have more than enough stuff to keep what I do afloat for a few weeks if we close down.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm so angry at work. Like I don't care about my job right now, and I know you don't want to hear that because a lot of people are hurting for work. But like, I wish I could stay in. There's my, I'm
I'm
like,
glad to be
I'm not
working.
proud of that 'cause no one at my job takes social distancing seriously, including the managers. But
Yeah.
that's enough for me because I'll probably get myself in trouble. So
My wife and I both work in healthcare, and so it's kind of like it would be. I'm glad to be working, but I see what you're saying. I would like to like maybe like decompress a little bit, honestly,
if
because
we
like
were, I would feel better about going in if we were making ventilators.
yeah.
I feel like what we're doing now is not that important right now,
Oh
in, in my words. But that's another story for another day, as I usually would say.
yeah. So you've been reading some comics, you said?
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of JMS stuff. I'm gonna get back into Turtles one, which we'll be talking about on this episode.
That's really all you can do is read back issues right now, because right now they're not shipping any new comics, and I suppose we should probably talk about that a little bit. I guess.
Let's get into it instead of
What
just
Corona means for comics. Yeah.
yeah, getting angry at our work.
So right now, I think it was 2 weeks ago, I guess, that Diamond, who has a stranglehold on the comic industry as far as
Yeah,
distribution goes, said that we're not sending any more comics out, which is weird because it happened probably the week after comic book stores have been scrambling for a way to figure out how to function during this whole thing. They finally get their shit together, started doing things like curbside service, deliveries, and that kind of thing. And then as soon as they all kind of unified and seemed like they got out of each other's way, they're like, oh, by the way, we're not going to be giving you anything to do curbside or like orders for and everything
yeah.
else. And yeah, it's
You
people are
can
freaking
tell
out
that
right now.
Gucci is pissed about this.
I can't tell. Yeah, no.
No,
Where's Gucci gonna get her Squirrel Girl issues to the P
yeah,
on?
exactly. She loves crypto, and now she can't get that.
So what do you think about all this, Mike? You hurting because you can't get the new issues, or you content with the
I'm not
back issues?
hurting. I think we talked about this before, and the biggest mistake that I understand why they're doing this for the it seems it's like DC and Marvel like, well, if we can't publish paper books for the struggling comic book stores, we're not going to do digital either, which is asinine because they were pushing for digital ever since digital was became popular, became when the technology was there to get the digital out there. Um, I
Well,
still feel that what I said previous when we talked about digital versus paperback issues. I still think once this is all over, we're going to see paper books still, but
yeah.
I think this is the decline of paper books, unfortunately. For me, yeah, as you guys all know, I'm a big Spider-Man fan, and I would hope that 2-3 years from now, God living if we're all alive, that we get Amazing Spider-Man 1000, and if they go digital after that, I'll be happy. Um, but I know a lot of fans are afraid that this could be the end of comic books. The comic books gonna be around forever, whether it's going to be digital, which that is the future,
Yeah.
or it's going to be paper. Um,
It's not gonna be the end of the comic book industry, but it's definitely if they were if Marvel and DC and all these guys were gonna push digital, now's the time to do it, and no
yeah,
one would blame them. Right now, I think, but the thing is with Marvel and DC especially is if it makes sense, and if it's something that's trailblazing, they won't do it. They'll wait for
yeah.
somebody else to do it first, and then they'll do it.
So
Like right
for
now,
IDW to do it.
yeah, I mean, IDW has been like struggling financially, hemorrhaging money for years.
Hmm.
They just canceled. They canceled, but it's really they're on hiatus right now with everybody else. But I mean, like them, Boom. What's the other ones? Uh, Dark Horse. These guys right
Yeah,
now should be going digital right now. If you're a company that's hemorrhaging money, now's the time. Like we can cut costs through digital,
yeah.
and no one will blame you right now because they have no way to make money. And I know local comic book shops are hurting, but I mean they're kind of on life support anyway.
Yeah.
I mean I'm sorry they are. So
It's
I mean
true. How many people can you get into a new comic book store now? That's not the big ones like Mile High Comics or
yeah.
you know Big Apple Comics or whatever it is in Manhattan.
I
You
mean, it's not
know,
even so much that, but I mean, like the whole thing is like if comic book companies right now aren't making money, which they're not, it having a local saving the local comic book shop is moot because they're not going to have any product because if the comic book companies aren't making any money, they're going to stop making comics, and then the comic book shops have nothing to sell.
Yeah.
I mean, comic book shops have had like over a decade now to evolve and like change their practice. And like the same thing happened to Blockbuster. The same thing happened to like
I've
is
been to
happening to
GameStop now.
yeah, GameStop's all done. And like honestly, don't let the door hit you
Yeah.
on the way
You know
out,
why I
GameStop.
say that? Because GameStop is making it seem like they're an essential and they
No,
need to be open. And like, no, fuck that. All right. So GameStop literally put themselves a nail in the coffin with this coronavirus.
yeah,
And, you know, I understand that they probably want to keep money because they're losing money, hemorrhaging money, just like the IDW and Dynamite, is it? I think it was.
And Boom, who does Power
Oh,
Rangers.
yeah. Boom, yeah. And two of the best books come from those companies, Turtles and Power Rangers.
Yeah,
They're canceling Power Rangers, Go Go Power Rangers, I believe, at issue 30, I think. Only because they caught up to the main book anyways. But
yeah.
uh, yeah, but like with GameStop, like that's the future of digital, and I can only assume that PS5 is going to be
Oh
digital
yeah,
games
Final
only.
Fantasy's already announced that they're going to digital release, which is
Yeah,
good. I mean, here's the thing with video games. Like, I mean, like I can't remember the last time I bought a physical video game. Like, as soon as
yeah.
I found it on Switch, where I could download a game, and then if I need more space, I can just get it off my Switch, but still have it downloaded so I can re-download anytime I want. Why would I ever go back to buying a physical copy of a game ever again?
Yeah, I'm kind of going through that boat too. Unless it's like, so I recently just got for you Street Rage fans following me on the Street Rage playthrough that we're doing. Street Rage 4 is coming out, God knows when, but limited release. I don't know if you guys heard of that. They're doing a physical release on that,
Yeah,
but Sega's only releasing it as a no, well, digital. I'm sorry. So I was able to get the limited release digital. I'm sorry, physical copy.
yeah.
So for me, like certain games, like I'll spend the money on getting like a I keep forgetting what the heck it's called. Digital, not digital. My brain's fried. Physical release. So like Legend of Zelda or the Spider-Man games, like a Fallout. Those I'd probably actually get the physical release because I just like to have that.
Yeah.
But most of my games I've been buying recently have been digital only.
Well, it's a lot of things. I mean, we're getting back to comic books, but a lot of the people who are insistent on there only being print books, not digital books. This is such a complete like digital and physical camp where it's
Hmm.
like it doesn't have to be one or the other. We've talked about this another. I think we talked about this when our fixing DC episode,
Yeah,
where you can have like just digital releases and then have like some of the main books. Also, what you can do is like have digital releases and like if Diamond goes away, which it should,
yeah,
because I don't think they're coming back right now. They just announced just this morning that they're only paying 25% of their bills because like they're like delinquent on like all like their payments. So that's kind of for me a sign that they're not going away. But
yeah,
the good thing that would happen, maybe DC and Marvel might go back to distributing their own comics. A good thing for them to do is like if you get your digital releases, there should be a thing where it's like you can order your own physical copy. If you want the physical copies, you can order them and they'll print them for
yeah.
you and send them in the mail, or your local comic book shop can handle that along with their other novelty stuff. Because I mean, local comic book shops shouldn't be dependent on one product. You know what I mean? If that's their business model, then like I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, I don't have to tell you.
And you gotta diversify yourself. You gotta get, like even though Think Geek's now out of business because GameStop ran them into the ground,
Yeah.
but you need to be like a Think Geek store where you have merchandise, you have comics,
Oh yeah.
and even the most popular video game coming out at the time, you have that there. Of course, it's tough because if you don't have the expertise in that area, you're not gonna know what to get, and that's where comic book store owners need to adapt to change. Um, and they're not doing that. They're just like, I'm gonna order 20 books of this, 20 of that, 100 of that, and it's like, okay, great, that's still the way of thing. That's the way it worked in the '90s, but it doesn't work now. And
You know what other business works on that business model? No other company
no,
works like that. It's just asinine the way it operates, and like it's like I don't know.
well,
And
like we said in the DC, how to fix DC. Every Marvel, including Marvel, because we know at the end of all this, Marvel and DC will still be, hanging
they
around.
can take a hit for a little while, but I mean
Yeah,
not 3 months. You know?
They gotta go to digital. I mean, eventually I'll get my hard copies of the Amazing Spider-Man books, but like they need to go down to the core titles as both digital and physical,
Yep.
and then you have these miniseries, the maxi series, miniseries. Those are all digital. Maybe I know Marvel likes to release a major event every fucking 3 months. Maybe you can do physical of that as well and digital, but you
Yeah.
know, Swirl Girl we mentioned, or like all these like books that like
All these secondary, like like guinea
print it
pig
up,
titles. Yeah. Like
you know. Um, and books like Swirl Girl, they have a certain audience that they're the digital people that are gonna get that book.
yeah.
Not people like you and me who are like, okay, great, Squirrel Girl is great on Great Lake Avengers back in the '90s, and then all of a sudden she became popular again. But I don't know. I don't. Again, I still believe firmly that this isn't the end of comic books. You guys have nothing to worry about. All these titles, all these people need to, all these comic book companies, Marvel, DC, IDW, need to scale back drastically, and definitely scale back with these variants. Who cares about constant variants and relaunches?
Oh,
Just
I,
give
I,
them
I I think it was the
numbers.
guy who owned our shop. I'll say Larry, who owned our shop. He tweeted that Donny Cates was made a tweet about the next issue of Venom had 25 variant covers. Like, are you insane, Marvel? At this time,
You
25
don't
variant
need
covers? What
that.
are you doing? you know?
You don't need variants, and that's what also is killing the industry. It killed it in the '90s.
Yep.
Among many things, Marvel helped kill the industry in the '90s. But now they're doing it again with all these variants. You remember that comic book shop variant, that the Amazing Spider-Man comic book shop variant? I think there was like
Oh,
200
I
or
do remember
300,
that. Yeah.
like a shitload of them.
Yeah.
Uh, and like I look at like when I go back at my Amazing Spider-Man run, especially in the constant relaunches, number one has like at least 20 or 30 or 40, if not more, variants. It's
See,
like,
those are the things that drive business. Not covers, but like the events and stuff like that. Those are the things that drive business for local comic book stores,
yeah,
but also hurt comic books as a whole. So it's
yeah.
like, I
Especially
don't
when
know.
the miniseries sucks, like
Yeah.
Civil War 2 and most of the stuff Marvel's been putting out. But I don't know. But yeah, like I said, I firmly believe that. Don't worry, guys. Comic books aren't going away. It's going to be a tough few months, as well as everything is. I know that this is an outlet for people, and I can hope that in some way, shape, or form you can get your books. But
This is definitely gonna change everything. Not just in comics, but like movies, video games, comics, everything. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, I mean everybody's feeling it. Even Disney. I've heard reports that Disney might be is in danger of maybe getting bought up by Apple or Amazon right now. They're losing 22 million dollars a day by not being open.
yeah,
They
yeah,
they put a ton of money. It's weird 'cause I'll talk about Disney and another company that's really hurting too. Disney they bought Fox. They're in the hole because of Fox right now, so they owe a ton of money. I think it's 7 billion for that. They're in the hole. They dumped a bunch of money into their theme parks, which aren't open right now.
yeah.
And something else they did too. Oh, the Disney Plus service, which costs a lot of money, which they said wasn't going to be profitable for the next 5 years. So they're like, I think something like someone was saying like $17 billion in debt, something like that, and
Yeah.
just losing money. AMC also same thing, like opened up a bunch of locations, dumped a bunch of money into an app and stuff like that. I mean, like sound familiar? I mean, AMC. I don't think AMC. The movie theaters aren't going to be the same. So this comes back. I mean, that right
Yeah.
now they're testing the water, they're releasing things digitally. That's doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Um,
Everything is all the Marvel movies got pushed back to a later date too.
See, the thing is, like they can't, they won't announce their streaming numbers, so we don't know what the streaming numbers are. We only know what the downloadable rent numbers are. See, I wish we knew the same thing for comics, because there's no way to tell what the digital numbers are for like comics right now. Which they
Yeah.
could be like really low and not work. That's why they don't go full digital, or they could be astronomical, but we just don't know. It's like that.
Well,
Marvel
now
is playing a
the
PR game.
time to release Winter Soldier and the Falcon if it's finished.
But it's not. They can't finish because they can't edit anything. Everything's getting pushed back.
I figured I thought most of that was already done because that was supposed to come out later this year. So
I think the only comic book thing I know that's still getting worked on right now is the Suicide Squad, because it was all done filming and James Gunn said he's editing from at home. So I mean,
hmm.
the Batman's on hold. Well, Wonder Woman's done obviously, but Patty Jenkins is like I guess there was rumors of it getting digitally released, and Patty
Hmm.
Jenkins was like no. that we're releasing this. This is a movie that means a lot to me. This is a movie that deserves the theatrical release.
Yeah.
It's like so.
No, I agree. I mean, some movies you just want to keep really seeing the movie theater, but
I
you
can
know,
wait. You know.
prices are going up, and I remember back in the day it was probably like $7-10 to go see a movie. Now it's like almost $20 a
Oh
person.
yeah.
So
So that's when we talk about like industry is getting hit really hard. As far as AMC goes, uh, good written. Honestly, I mean, good, you guys have charged us so much money for
yeah,
movies and like your bathrooms, like disgusting. You guys got rid of the ushers and ruined probably every movie experience for me for the past like 8 years by
yeah,
people just being on their phones, like people bringing their kids. One kid wants to see the movie, the other kid doesn't want to see the movie, so he's like on his tablet or on his phone the entire time. And
yeah.
movie theater is just a horrible, horrible experience for me. And I honestly, I'm kind of glad they're feeling the squeeze right now. To be honest with you, I mean, I don't wish anybody to lose their jobs or
Yeah,
anything like that, but I mean, like, I don't know. So I think it's nice that a lot of these businesses are getting a rude awakening. Um,
yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's a tough time out there for sure. So
yeah.
everywhere.
So what do you think's going to happen? Do you think Marvel and DC are going to go full digital or?
I don't think they're gonna go full digital soon. I think you're gonna see a lot more digital content
Yeah,
coming up. Um, I think for the time being, this is a perfect time to test their
digital
digital
market.
capabilities. Um, they need to get the current books out. That's the biggest thing. But I still think on the core books, you'll still see paperback once this is all over with.
Yeah.
They're gonna have a massive re-release where, you know, how are these comic book companies how are these comic book shops gonna get the books, the backlog of books to begin with? That's the biggest thing.
I mean, they can do one of those, like how like Marvel's releasing those True Believer books where they're kind of reprinting books from like 20. They can do something like that. I
Yeah,
don't think they're gonna dump like 3 months worth of comics on comic book realtors and have them figure it out. You know what I mean? They'll
yeah.
figure out something, but I mean, I don't know. It's crazy. No one saw this coming. You know?
No, no. I mean, this is something we could have probably been prepared for when we saw it all going on in China and Italy, but we're not gonna get into that. But yeah, this has really hit us hard all around, and people are scared out there. So, I mean, we have the I wouldn't necessarily say a luxury of still having a job, but because it's very stressful for us to go into work, um, for what we do, but there's people out there on the front lines, so it's really hard
Yeah.
for us to complain.
Oh yeah. We got a
So
buddy actually works at the hospital right now. He's feeling the burn. You
yeah,
know?
but yeah, I think overall we're gonna bounce back from this. Everything's gonna bounce back eventually. It's gonna be a tough few. It's gonna be a tough year. I will say that. But we just gotta, I don't know, stay strong and wait for the good stuff to happen, I guess.
I'll say something right now. The memes have been fantastic. We're in a
Yeah.
golden age of memes right now.
Major pandemic and what to get the memes that are making us laugh.
I see. That's the thing. I gotta tell you. I've been following what's his name Max Greenwood.
Mm,
He played Schmidt on New Girl, but that he posts like videos like every day of him and his daughter doing like schoolwork and stuff. And
mm.
what comedy gold him and his I think she's like 6 years old, something like that. But it's like I'm enjoying a lot of the board homemade content more than I am the big budget content that was coming out before. To be honest with you. What else? Yeah. Oh, it's this Jake Johnson, Spider-Man from Spider-Verse, Peter B. Parker. He had this thing on Twitter where he was I guess he was getting a lot of like text messages from friends, like their kids who've been watching Spider-Verse on Netflix. Like a lot of people like saying how much they enjoy the movie. So he had an email to someone to send like your kid's name and like a little message, and he'd send them a voicemail message. And this morning, where he's got one from Jake Johnson, so for my son Lucas, and
I wish I
I,
did that. Like, yeah, I'm a kid. I love you.
that's the thing. As much as I love my son loved it, and like he had this big huge grin on his face. Um, as jaded and cynical as I become, nothing makes you feel like a kid again more than Spider-Man calling you.
When I first heard it, I'm like, wow, he's telling your son that he's has Mary Jane and Gwen Stacy all alone
I
in
thought
his
that was
house.
a little weird though. I'm like, okay, what's going on right now?
Like, is he having a threesome in his house? Like, good for him. Good for
But
Peter B. Parker.
yeah, but he's back on the upside. I mean, he at the beginning of the movie he was on down on his luck, but I guess he's in the upswing right now. Although Gwen's kind of young, and
He's a teenager in that movie, but hey, that's
yeah, I don't know what the specifics of his universe. I don't know what Gwen he's talking about. Hopefully, it's not
yeah.
the young Gwen.
Maybe it's the older Gwen Stacy.
Then again, just because they're hanging out together doesn't mean anything sexual is going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not Dirty Minds. It is.
But yeah, I mean, as far as keeping busy, I mean, like, yeah, hopefully this doesn't last much longer because I mean, yeah, we're all kind of we all love each other here, but
Yeah.
definitely this is the most we've seen each other in a long time.
Yeah, well, I'm on vacation soon, so me and my wife will probably be at each other's throats starting Thursday. So.
Oh my goodness.
And I can work from home. I wish I could work from home, but again, what I do, I can't bring that shit home.
My wife's working from home right now, so I mean, like, and then she's kind of they have their whole like office space for the kids and stuff. They all do their homework together and stuff.
Yeah.
And so we'll see how long that lasts before we're all just scowling at each other.
Well, at least they're still doing school, but it sucks for the people who can't afford that shit. They can't get it, you know. So, but hey,
so
times are changing.
Yeah.
You know.
I think we covered all of them pretty much right now. I mean, we're kind of like. I mean, we took 2 weeks off, and you know.
Well, real quick, the other recent news is Turtles. IDW is going on hiatus after issue 105. That's kind of what we were leading into a little bit. And IDW is one of the companies that is hemorrhaging money, as you said, and they're bankrupt almost. And this was going on since last year, before all this was going on. So this is like
a couple of years now, yeah.
Hey, pick up IDW, help them out or something. I don't know. Pick up Turtles.
You know, it'd be cool if that's what I want to talk about. When all this is said and done, it'll be really great. Is if Marvel and DC dumped Diamond and decided to use IDW as its distributor, and like publish all the comics through IDW and like and then that helps out IDW out, who I think is a good company.
Great books.
And they've also helped Marvel and DC out as far as like those big like artist editions and stuff like that.
Yeah, over there in the wall over there.
Yes, I think that'd be kind of cool. Kind of like everybody coming together to help each other out. The other thing, which I can't believe I forgot to mention, is that it's been going crazy on Twitter. With a lot of comic creators are saying they're really pushing for a Marvel versus DC crossover.
Yes, I saw that too. That would be epic if they did that again. Get them together.
Well, the reason why they did Marvel. I was actually watching an interview with Ron Mars, who wrote the DC portion of Marvel vs. DC, and he was saying the only reason they did that in the first place because back in the mid '90s, when the speculation bubble was bursting, and that's the only reason they did it, to save the industry. Right now, I mean, the industry's not looking so good right now.
No.
It hasn't for a while, but I mean, now it's definitely a crippling blow. Now's the time to do it. I mean, that'd be the best thing for Marvel and DC to do is come right out the gates and really help the comic shops also with a Marvel vs. DC crossover.
Well, they need to do JLA versus Avengers was epic. So if they're gonna do it, it needs to be something like that. It can't be something like the original Marvel vs. DC, which was pure garbage, most of it. But even though Ben Reilly won, which I was happy about, but most of it was pure garbage, and it was like 2-3 pages of a fight, and that was it.
They got to get the best that you get, like Donny Cates, Jeff Johns to be writing this thing. You got to have big name talent on it. All their best artists, the guys like like the guys they've been keeping in glass, like Oliver Copiel and like J. Scott Campbell and like all these guys like what's his name, Greg Capullo. All those guys, and just make a big thing of it, like and really think. You have plenty of time to think it out right now. I think you should take all these like those 5Gs and Empire and kind of push them to the side, and this is the thing you should be focusing on right now.
And I always liked how, especially in the later years, when they started to add a story to the Marvel vs. Capcom video game saga storyline, even though the recent one was kind of, but they had a story where the worlds were colliding. So it'd be nice if they did something like that. Kind of like how Marvel did a Final Crisis where the worlds were colliding and whatnot, but like, I want to see something where they all team up and take down a greater evil or some shit like that.
Somebody has to have an idea. I mean, after reading Doomsday Clock, obviously Jeff Johns has an idea. I'm more than sure Donny Cates has an idea, and like Gail Simone on Twitter, she's been really tweeting it up and stuff like that. So I mean, I don't know.
You're gonna see that Captain America versus Batman fight where they're an even trade off. But
I want to see Wolverine versus Batman. That's me.
Yeah, that would be a cool one to see. But Yeah, the story has to be pretty epic, and I don't want this to be a same old we fight each other type thing, and that's it. I'm sure there'll be some fights between heroes and villains and whatnot, but I think it's gonna be they gotta do something epic to really nail this and save the industry. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Oh,
then you're gonna have something cool like we can even have like bring in an IDW or I keep forgetting the Power Rangers. Who are they again?
boom.
Boom. So I have Boom be involved. Somewhere y'all come together. They've done this before in the past, not so much comic book companies where everyone's come together at some major event in the world.
Yeah.
9/11, all of that stuff, and all the celebrities and the world came together. So that's what they need to do. Boom, IDW. I don't think Dark Horse really has anything, but you can somehow maybe get
Hellboy.
one popular. Oh, yeah, Hellboy. Well, the worlds collide at some big epic event. You know what I mean? That would be pretty epic in my opinion. But hey,
And you get Todd McFarlane to do covers.
yes, Todd McFarlane, Campbell, and then who else could do covers?
McFarlane, you made a bunch of money off the industry. Now you got to help out now. You made all your money off the backs of comic books. Come on, now you got to pitch in. Like, you
Yeah,
know.
we made you. Now it's time to make us.
Yep.
Help us out. But
Yeah, I think that's all I got for now.
yeah,
So
me too. I can't really think of anything else.
back together, and it feels so good.
Yeah, I still think. Don't worry, guys. Comic books gonna come back. Everything's gonna eventually bounce back. I know it's scary out there right now. The important thing is, and I can't stress this enough. Again, I'm not a healthcare worker, but what I do, I wish people would just social distance, stay safe, stay home, only go out if you have to. Uh, make Steve's job safer and easier, and make our friend Patrick Moreau's job safer, as well as other nurses and doctors. Stay the fuck home. And
Yeah,
I know we gotta be more kid friendly, but I can't stress this enough. Stay the fuck home.
seriously. There's somebody I forget who tweeted this, but that and since we're not being kid friendly right now, I'm just gonna say
Yeah.
if you're finding if you're bored at home, obviously you're not masturbating properly.
Mhm. I wish I could be at home all the time. All these people complaining about it and shit.
I have a house full
I
of
got,
kids.
I got my man cave down here that can keep me busy, but then again, sometimes I come down here, I'm like, what game should I play? But just being down here is relaxing enough. So when I'm stressed out at work, worrying out if I got the fucking corona or not, which I don't yet. So thankfully, thank God, and I'm hoping I never don't. But yeah, stay safe, guys. Social distance, 6 feet. So you
And
don't see me
masturbate.
in jail for doing that at work for cross checking a motherfucker for not.
Also,
Anyway,
also, if you can, masturbate. That's my
give
public
me a
service.
lot as much as you can. Do you think
Wait,
premium should be free now? The world would be safe and
listen,
sound with that.
listen, not for nothing. Public service. It clears out your system,
Mm-hmm.
and just like Zach Galifianakis said in New Date, I had a glorious orgasm. I fell asleep. You need to strengthen your immune system by falling asleep. So I
Yeah.
mean, I'm telling you right now, that's I'm not advocating do it in front of your family, but
No.
you find the time. Take
Have your own personal time and step away from the family if you can. Especially Steve, step away from the family. Go blast one out in the woods or something if you have to. Or go in your shed and blast one out.
Someone finds me. What's going on in there? It's just me, Sasquatch. I'm just Sasquatch.
I'm redoing the shed. I'm insulating it so it's cold and warm in the winter. Now's the time to do it.
Well, anyway, on that note, I think we're gonna end it right here, guys. Now I'm
Mhm.
gonna try and pump out more videos, and not give in to the anxiety of the corona,
Yeah.
and get back in the saddle. And I guess
I got some Game Gear stuff coming up soon. Hopefully this week. I'm now learning how to edit, as I posted and mentioned in my other videos. It's not as cool as when I do these videos by myself because I have no one to bounce off of. So bear with me if I'm boring. But
well,
you know,
we're doing this now. Maybe we can somehow sync. Maybe play an online game together, something like that. Maybe we'll
yeah,
play.
maybe we can do some. Let's try doing some. Oh shit. Yeah, we'll have to figure out how to do the new stuff.
We'll figure it out. This is just a little taste, guys.
Yeah. I'm on vacation, but maybe I can figure out how to work out that damn Elgato device I got. That's been collecting dust on my shelf over there. But until then, I'm gonna keep getting out some video game stuff. I know Steve wants to do a Mega Man run. That'll be good to see. He didn't die, so it'll be good to see
I
him
was
do.
surprised how well I handled Mega Man. The first Mega Man game, the most probably I think one of the shittiest Mega Man games is the first one.
I can do Mega Man 9 and 10 on easy mode, or Mega Man 10 on easy mode, well, no problem.
Oh, I forgot how short the levels were in Mega Man One though. Yeah,
Yeah.
they definitely didn't think they were making another one. That's for sure.
I have no patience when it comes. It's because of Castlevania, Mega Man, and Ninja Gaiden, and the reason why I have no patience, which is I probably won't play those. And if I do play them on Friday Night Game Night, I will be using Game Genie with no shame.
Hey, we're living in desperate times right now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you want to do that to keep you entertained. So, but yeah, hopefully this new format for now works out, and we'll be doing more stuff together this way too.
I think we figured it out, Mike. We
Yeah,
cracked it. We cracked Corona.
yeah, exactly.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time. All right.
We'll see you. I want to say next week, but you'll see us soon.
Like and subscribe, but wash your hands before you
Yeah.
tap anything. All right.
You know
Yeah,
what,
wash
it's
it. Yeah. Watch. By the way, sanitize your phones.
Yeah.
Those things are petri dishes.
Yeah, and make sure you do that before you masturbate because you don't want to get the corona all over you that way.
Seriously.
Just in case you are out and about like us.
All right, guys. We'll see you later.
All right, see you later.